Welcome to the weekend. It's finally Friday, and it's Memorial Day weekend. Mm-hmm. It's always the unofficial, official kickoff to summer.
That's right.
That Memorial Day weekend.
That's right.
And so here we are coming to you live from our Litter Media loft inside the Litter Warehouse.
A lot of municipal swimming pools open this weekend, including Chillicothe.
Precisely. That is the municipalities that still have them.
That's correct. Because all of them don't now.
Driving through my hometown of Asheville a couple of weeks ago, and as I was driving through, I saw where the pool used to be, and now it's some kind of storage space or whatever. They filled everything in, and I'm like, well, that's where I learned how to swim right there. It's gone. You know? Splash
pads have become big replacements for that.
Yes, I think they're cheaper to run. You know, have to test the chlorine and all that kind of stuff, like the old days. All right, welcome to the program. Coming up, we've got Mike's got a radio moment he's going to share with us here in just a bit. We're going to also talk about a member of the media that we lost yesterday. We'll reflect on the life of Craig Dunn. Also, we'll get you caught up to date on news and what's happening in the way of sports. But first, we want to take a look at our weather, which is perfect.
Looks like a good one this weekend for the holidays. Sunny skies for this Friday, today, high 76. Cloudy, 77 for tomorrow. There's a 30% chance of rain on Sunday, but a high 70. Then partly sunny for Memorial Day Monday, with a high reaching 78.
There was some concern. I heard some of the forecasters talking about the potential for rain, maybe a little bit of rain on Saturday, and I kind of thought maybe this is what they were looking at, but you can see the wind pattern where it's blowing it to Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we're going to get that rain.
Those Golden Gophers need some rain. Let them have it.
Amen to that. Yeah. So enjoy this holiday weekend that we have. The Feast of the Flowering Moon is underway today, so we'll talk more about that here in just a moment, but it's going to be a great day to get out. And don't make the mistake I made last week by being out in the sun without a lid.
Yeah.
And I've been shedding and peeling ever since. So I told folks at church on Sunday, I said, it's not dandruff. Well, actually, I guess it kind of is, because dandruff is skin, right? But it's just peeling skin.
It's Dan's druff.
That's well
Dan's
put.
Druff,
I didn't think about it in that fashion. So, all right, coming up in just a moment, we'll get it up to date with all the stuff that we do on a regular basis here on Litter Media Live. But right now, let's tell you about one of our sponsors, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. If you're looking for an issue with your cooling or heating, we understand temperatures next week will be in the upper 80s, and we'll start to see that Southern Ohio humidity make its return. So you better get that checked out. Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. It'll take you right to the Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing website, where you can learn more about their services. News next.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Appropriately enough, the Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau, because our top story today is the return of the Feast of the Flowering Moon.
Yeah, year 40 for the Feast of the Flowering Moon. It opens today. It's kind of a soft opening at noon, but the official opening will be this evening. Festival offers plenty of family-friendly entertainment for residents and visitors to Chillicothe. Featured activities include Native American music and dancing, crafters, exhibitors, mountain man encampment with working craftsmen and demonstrations, entertainment, and much more. And this goes through Sunday.
Streets are closed. in certain areas.
Yes, sir.
But on 2nd Street, you can still go. And it's the cool thing that last summer, was it, or the summer before, they turned it into a two-way street.
Yeah.
So you can still get through back and forth, but just be cautious because a lot of people are going to be on foot and they need to get there. Be patient with everybody.
Yes, sir.
You want to get where you want to get to safely, too.
Also, of course, the holiday weekend, it's Memorial Day. And a tip of the cap to the Ross County Service Office, they got this information out, which we shared on our Facebook page, because last year we had a lot of people asking, where are all of the Memorial Day tributes going to be held? Well, this page has them all, Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday, to honor those fallen veterans.
And that post also has stuff for the rest of the year, pretty much.
Well, they've got the May 29th and then June the 16th, which is Veterans Appreciation Day. But thanks to getting all that information out there, and you can now know where to go for all of these services. Floor BWXT Electrical Inspector Chad Roberts out of Ross County has recently been named as a principal member of the Code-Making Panel 5 of the National Fire Protection Association's National Electrical Code Committee. The National Fire Protection Association is made up of electrical industry professionals from across the nation. With this appointment, he'll have an active role in developing fire safety codes and standards that are established to protect lives and property from fire. Ohio Valley Regional Development Commission team members participated in the Ohio University's Voinovich School of Leadership and Public Services Appalachian Ohio State of the Region Conference yesterday. And Chillicothe's Tammy Alenardo, Ross County Economic Development Director, was there and took part in the conference and sharing the success story of downtown Chillicothe.
Controlling the podium very well there, it looks like.
I've seen Tammy control the treadmill, too, out at Planet Fitness. She does that very well also.
Go get her.
Yeah, but this was the 11th year for the event where people from all across our region came together to share innovative ideas. Ohio University has launched 2 new recognitions to further highlight student excellence. It's the President's List and Provost List. Alongside the Dean's List, Ohio's new President's and Provost List enabled Ohio to more broadly recognize both full-time and part-time undergraduate students and their continued commitment to academic achievement. This will not only apply to the Athens main campus, but all of the OU branch campuses as well. The Blue Bus, the Big Blue Bus, will once again be back on the road for 2023, serving kids age 1 through 18 years of age who need lunch or breakfast during the summer months. This runs May 31st through August 4th in Washington Courthouse. The exceptions are July 4th and 5th and the week of July 17th through 22nd. Now, you'll notice on that poster it says the week of July 17th through the 12th, but that was supposed to be the 22nd.
And don't let this be confused with the Big Blue Bus through the Chillicothe City Schools.
That's correct.
They do something very similar as well. But and I don't know which one was first.
I think it might have been Washington Courthouse because we were going over there a lot during COVID, and that's when this got started up around 2019 or 2020. I mean, there's always been like a summer feed program, but a lot of schools made it mobile instead of just a stationary site for people to walk to.
Well, we'll have to double check with Mary Montgomery on this because she runs the one for Chillicothe City Schools as well, and I want to say it was going on before COVID because they were saying, oh, okay, how are we going to handle this now that COVID's here? Because these kids still need to be served. So let's just say they both started about the same time.
Well, the FAC battle, it's on.
That's
over
right.
The Blue Bus.
That's right.
Who was first? Yeah.
You wouldn't see the Blue Bus in Greenfield or in Hillsborough, right?
That's right. Speaking of Hillsborough and Greenfield, Highland County Drug Take-Back event will be June 3rd at the Old Firehouse on North High Street in Hillsborough. That event that day runs from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. Staying in Highland County, if you are underinsured or uninsured and meet certain income requirements, the Highland County Health Department can assist you in obtaining a voucher for a free eye exam and glasses. For more information, call the Highland Health Department. That's area code 937-393-2000. 1941. The Dog Jog 5K will be held June 24th, starting at Maple Grove Prairie Nature Preserve at 44 Anderson Station Road, just outside of Chillicothe. This is an out-and-back course on a portion of the Tri-County Triangle Trail. It's a hardened course suitable for all levels of runners and walkers. Race day registration begins at 7:30 a.m. and the 5K run or walk begins at 9 a.m. that day, with benefits helping Rover there, or rovers all over the area. Noon at the Square in downtown Lancaster is back for the 2023 season, July 24th through the 28th. Of course, that's the dates for the Lancaster Festival. Lively lunchtime performances for all. Bring a sack lunch or try out one of the food trucks on the Zane Square. These performances are free at Zane Square on the downtown stage in Lancaster, July 24th through the 28th.
On the 26th there, it's got the LHS Percussion Ensemble. I'm telling you, if you've never seen Lancaster High School's percussion section, this is worth going to see.
All right. Better than Barney Fife and his cymbals, then.
Amen to that.
And the Chillicothe Autism Disability Parent-to-Parent Support Group will hold their second annual end-of-summer family get-together August 13th. Now, I know we're just starting the summer, but put this on your calendar for August 13th from 1 to 3 p.m. out at the Pioneer Center on County Road 550, west of Chillicothe. Road report. In Pickaway County, State Route 56 between Kingston Pike and Hitler Road will close starting at 7 a.m. next Tuesday, and that'll go through June the 7th. Now, the southbound detour will be 23 to State Route 361 to 159 to 56 South. Northbound, it's State Route 159 to 361 to US 23 to Mount Street to Court Street. And that's the road report.
Ah, gotcha. Tonight, don't forget, Boogie on the Blacktop taking place here in Chillicothe at the Elks Lodge. Boogie on the Blacktop goes back to the origin of the Feast of the Flowering Moon. So this is a tradition right there for you. There will be live music at the Feast of the Flowering Moon for you today, starting with Philo Beto. They'll be on stage at 8 o'clock this evening, and that's right after they have the crowning of the Miss Feast of the Flowering Moon, which will be taking place at 6:30. They're having a bunch of the ladies come back from previous years. I believe there were 14 previous. And, of course, if you throw in Maddie Fout, who was last year's, so that'll be 15 previous Miss Feast of the Flowering Moons will all be there this evening. So looking forward to that. Saturday's lineup has Mackenzie Mash. We had her on the program here several months back. Moose Miller. Do you know who Miss Miller is?
I don't.
Remember Michael Miller used to play basketball at Eastern?
Yeah.
Went to Trevecca College down in Nashville. Holly Miller's little brother.
Moose.
Who's like 6'7".
Wow.
He has, I remember him first getting a guitar, and now here he is making a living by performing. So he'll be performing at 5 o'clock tomorrow, followed by the Weegens, who will take stage. They've been making music for a long time. Whiskey Ridge will perform at 8 p.m. And then Sunday, the Ashley Huffer Trio. Had a chance to meet Ashley when we had the performance out at the Bainbridge Paxton Theater back during Christmas. Beautiful voice, absolutely. But her trio will be performing. And our buddies from 7 Mile Bluegrass will be wrapping things up on Sunday. So that's all taking place at the Feast of the Flowering Moon.
But they won't be rapping.
Oh, no. They might. It wouldn't surprise me.
Just because Dan Ramey says we can't rap.
It would not surprise me that these guys would start rapping with bluegrass. That would be cool. I wonder if they would do that with like corn husks,
I'm curious what they would be using there.
I remember Uncle Joe talking about, back in the day, we used to smoke anything we could, including corn silk. I'm like, what?
Yeah, my mother, God rest her soul, even Mom.
Even Mom. Oh, golly. All right, coming up, a look at sports. The postseason continues for a lot of our teams and athletes, but it also has come to the end for some of them as well. And we'll remember Craig Dunn, all coming up in just a matter of moments. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. These guys help clean up in a big way. If you've got a cleanup job you need done, in some instances, they'll help with that cleanup, but otherwise, they'll bring you a dumpster. Set it right there, you fill it up, and then they'll haul it all away for you. Give Carl a call at 740-253-8389, and please tell him Dan and Mike sent you.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
This is Big Chillicothe. Horizon's 100% fiber internet service is coming to your area. Call 740-772-8331 or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe to sign up today.
Hi, I'm Dave Pinkerton with Advanced Services Heating and Cooling, your local heating and cooling expert. If you want quality service, quality installation, give Advanced Services a call, 740-773-4499.
Time now for the world of sports. And here's your sports reporter, the icon, Mike Smith.
Yeah, we're getting late in the postseason for high school sports of all kind this spring. Well, yesterday was the start of the Ohio High School Association's boys state tennis. Waverly's Caden Nybert and Cam McKenzie lose in the first round in doubles play, 6-1, 6-2, to a team from Hunting Valley University High School.
Never heard of it.
Me neither. I was asking Dan if he had earlier. Also, Luke Frost of Athens in singles play lost by the identical score to Ben Knight of Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. But
heard of that.
Still got there. They still got there,
yes.
And that is a big honor. This year they're playing at Ohio State University because of construction down at the Lindner Center in Mason. Division II regional track meet day one results saw regional titles in individual relays and, the only running event yesterday was a final, was the 4x800 relay. The Unioto boys won the regional championship in that, where the Unioto girls were third, but still qualified for the state. Minford's Luke Rader won the high jump, and several other individuals and relays have advanced to state finals, which will be on Saturday. The Division I and III track finals, respectively, are being held tonight. Valley and Eastern Brown won Division III baseball district championships last night. For the Indians, it's their third straight district title, while the Warriors of Eastern Brown, their first since 2008. Tonight remains the D3 baseball district final between Wheelersburg and Ironton. That's at VA Memorial Stadium at 7:15. Now, that's kind of an odd start, but the reason why their lady counterparts, the Lady Pirates of Wheelersburg, are playing just across the field at Unioto High School against South Webster in the D3 championship at 5 o'clock. The Division IV regional finals, Pickerington Central has Portsmouth Notre Dame against perennial softball powerhouse Strasbourg Franklin. That's at 5. And then Unioto softball plays Steubenville in the D2 regional championship at noon tomorrow at Philo High School. We'll have updates on all that tonight as well as tomorrow at littermedia.com and Litter Twitter. Huntington football has a cornhole tournament fundraiser coming up. You going to play in that, Dan?
I don't know. Haven't thought about it yet.
Are you a cornhole player?
I have played cornhole. I've had some success. The last time I played was at the Ramey family reunion down in Tennessee, and had an incredible shining moment in which, as soon as the bag left my hand, I said, "Game winner," and that son of a gun went right in the hole. The one 40 feet away from me, not the one next to me.
Yeah.
And my sister just goes, "Oh, you're kidding me."
Did you see in the PGA Championship the club pro that was playing that had the hole-in-one, but the ball went in the hole on the fly? I've never seen a hole-in-one like
Never
that.
came out?
No. Usually a hole-in-one bounces and rolls to the hole, but this one, they called it a dunk, that it landed in the hole on the fly. Wow. I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
Well, that's what happened in this cornhole match that we had, and they just stood in just like, what are we supposed to do?
So you're ready for the Cornhole Hall of Fame?
I'm done. See, that's the thing. You go out ahead.
That would be CHHOF, Cornhole Hall of Fame. Yeah. The faith-based youth group Young Life will conduct their. By the way,
we didn't wrap this up.
I thought we'd said enough about that.
Call Sam Beeler if you want to get involved.
I thought Dan wanted to brag more about his Hall of Fame exploits. The faith-based group Young Life will conduct their golf tournament fundraiser on June the 23rd. That's at Chillicothe JC's course. You can register now for the 10 a.m. shotgun start. Just hold your iPhone or your smartphone right over that QR code, and it'll get you to the registration.
Now, this
page.
You will not see me in, because golfing is just not my thing.
Just not your thing. No. Yeah. Reds did not come out with the end of that series with the Cardinals yesterday. They lose 2-1. They're off to the Windy City to start a weekend series tonight. And the Guardians were off yesterday.
They will host the Cardinals tonight.
So St. Louis didn't have far to travel, going from Cincinnati up to Cleveland to start that series tonight.
This guy passed away, and shocking news yesterday. Speaking of Craig Dunn, he was a longtime Logan Daily News sports reporter. I've seen him on sportscasts at times. When Chillicothe and Logan would meet, we would meet, and we would also meet in other instances as well, over at the Convo, wherever he was. Craig was just a great guy to get around and be together with. You see that banner right there? It hangs next to our door here in the Litter Media Loft. This was a gift that he gave me. It hung in the Katy, what was the middle school gymnasium at Logan. For a long time, that's where they played all their varsity sports. It was in the middle school. And so this banner hung there during Chillicothe's SEOAL days, when I was stepping away from doing Cavalier games. At the Chillicothe Logan game of the O, he brought that banner and presented it to me. I was just floored when he brought it. So there you see it hanging in the broadcast booth at the O that day. I had some thumbtacks, and I said, we're putting this bad boy up here right now. So, yeah. But what a guy. This guy, one of his, we mentioned the Katie a moment ago. That is Katie Smith. He was one of Katie's first coaches.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. And when she went into the Hall of Fame, he was there that night.
Wow.
And there's a photo on his Facebook page where there is, I believe it's her mom and her other parents and some other people that were important, but she had her arm locked with Craig's arm in that. Anytime you saw Logan do anything, Craig was there. Craig was a Logan graduate, and he recently was honored by the state of Ohio, put into the Ohio Sports Writers Hall of Fame. Yeah. He was recognized at one of the state boys basketball championship games. And what was funny was the Sports Integrity Awards. They were handed out to he and I the same year when the Cavaliers were on their state championship run. And that night, Chillicothe was enthralled in this battle with Logan Elm, which almost derailed the state championship run. The tie-in there, Doug Stuyvesant, head coach of Logan Elm, was a Logan graduate,
Right.
and Craig was there that night. So we're there. Our awards did not come in. So what they gave us were the district championship and district runner-up trophies. So they were using them as props, and I remember holding the championship trophy, and I looked over to Craig and I said, I hope this is a good omen.
And it turned out to be.
But here's the reason I'm telling that story. Because when he received his award at Ohio, or at, whether it be Dayton, University of Dayton, just a few short months ago, he said the same thing happened. So they had to present him with a plaque that wasn't what he was supposed to get. But super guy, really super guy. Never got married, never had kids. The Logan Chieftain kids were his kids.
Yeah.
So certainly gone, but not
forgotten.
Thank you, Craig Dunn. All right, coming up in just a moment, this date in history and a radio moment with Mike Smith. That's just all ahead right here on Litter Media Live. You know, I've got to thinking about Craig so much I forgot where I am here in the list. There we go. Now these words from our sponsors.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
At Rathkamp Financial, we believe in building client relationships for the long term, guiding you through the stages of wealth with a plan and bringing you closer to reaching your financial dreams. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Mike still can't believe that's Johnny Mathis singing that song.
It just doesn't sound like him to me. Yeah. Too country. Yeah.
This date in history, the Litter Media Wayback Machine goes to?
1924. To hear the news, you would think that the immigration problem we have in the United States is something new. 1924, President Calvin Coolidge signs into law the Immigration Act of 1924. The most stringent U.S. immigration policy up to that time in the nation's history. The new law reflected the desire of Americans to isolate themselves from the world after fighting World War I in Europe, which exacerbated growing fears of the spread of communist ideas. It also reflected the persuasiveness and pervasiveness of racial discrimination in American society at the time. Many Americans saw the enormous influx of largely unskilled, uneducated immigrants during the early 1900s as causing unfair competition for jobs and land. Does that sound familiar to this day?
The more things change, the more they stay the same. I always heard that from the great one, Dick Rout, who was a history guy.
He was indeed.
So what is your radio moment for today?
I don't even know why this came to mind. Of course, it's Memorial Day weekend. Maybe that was the reason it came to mind. 13 years ago this weekend, Vanessa, Doyle, now George, and I were broadcasting in Lancaster, for the Division III softball regional championship. Piketon against Lucasville Valley. If I'm not mistaken, Valley might have been ranked number 1 in the state at that time. I got the help of Piketon coach Bud Brapson on a couple of these names because I couldn't remember.
And what year was this again?
2010, 13 years ago.
Okay.
Shella Zimmerman, who was Piketon's all-star pitcher, Braden Dillow for Lucasville Valley. They were both all Ohioans. In fact, Bud was sharing with me just a few moments ago, there were 5 SVC softball players that year that were something all Ohio. That's how loaded the talent was. But on that day, it was in the mid-90s, not a cloud in the sky. The broadcast set up at Lancaster High School was always behind the backstop. It's steaming hot, and this game goes 17 innings.
Wow.
It was, when the final score was 2-1, Piketon wins and goes to the Final Four. When you have low scoring, games typically go quickly. But this game took almost 4 hours to play because not only did it last what was equivalent of 2.5 games, the home plate umpire got overheated and had a heat stroke, passed out. They had to call an ambulance to take him to the hospital. That took about 45 minutes. And I remember the sun was shining so brightly that day. As you can see, I'm looking on a computer monitor here. The sun was so bright I couldn't even see the monitor.
Yeah.
Had to put a cardboard box up to shade it just a little bit. But Vanessa and I, after that game, we looked like lobsters. I think she had a drink glass that was about that tall. It was completely dry. No, I wasn't drinking from her glass. But it was completely dry at the end of that game. But what a game. It was an exciting game.
Yeah.
But
she and I were there a few years later and doing a game, and I wised up to it. I brought a box.
Yeah.
And so I put the laptop inside the box to give shading. But that still didn't give me what I needed in that regard to be able to see the screen. So I had an umbrella. So Vanessa takes this picture of me sitting here, and this umbrella is over top of me, and I'm looking in this box, and it's like, this is what radio looks like.
And nobody was cussing you behind because they couldn't see over your umbrella.
No, there was none of that.
No, but that was a great day for Piketon softball, but man, was that a long game, 17 innings, 2-1 Piketon. They ended up going to the state semis and losing. We were broadcasting that game also from Firestone. I think we were talking about that last month. Got stuck on 71 from a traffic accident. We were concerned we were going to miss the game.
Yeah.
And I go early, but we sat there for about an hour. But they lost to Hillsdale in the state semifinals later that week.
I was conversing back and forth with a Cavalier fan last night about all conference, and the question was, the athletes who have been all conference in all 3 sports for a single season or a single year, school year. And I said, oh, yeah, that happens a lot, especially in like the SVC, smaller schools, conferences, that you see that's because there's far fewer athletes. But the one that I thought stood out, and this came to me, was Drew Basil. He was all Ohio for football, all Ohio soccer, and all Ohio bowling his senior year.
Not bad.
Now, that doesn't happen very often.
Not too often.
Yeah, for all Ohio stuff. So,
by the way, we were just talking about softball. Some of you may have been seeing over the last day a number of teams announcing their all-district softball players from their school. Well, let me tell you, we don't have that list, and this is why. The Coaches Association, for many, many years, and this is a pet peeve of every broadcaster and sports writer in Ohio, they wait till the season is completely over, which means at the end of the state tournament, before they release both the all-district and all-state teams. So if you see these popping up, we're not falling asleep on the job. That list will not be provided to us until it's all over.
And for whatever reason, the Coaches Association doesn't lock down the coaches and say, don't say anything about this stuff. Well, the coaches are along the lines of everybody else. Hey, let's put the information out there because our kids are still playing.
And if you're going to do that, that's fine, but let the rest of us know how ours. But that's
precisely.
That's my beef of the day.
Let me kick the soapbox out from you. All right, let's see. The weekend, we've got Feast of the Flowering Moon will continue. I'll probably be out with a camera tomorrow taking some shots. I had planned on going to the parade, so we'll see how that works out. Parade's at 4:30. And all of those queens we were talking about that are coming back, they will be in this parade, I guess, as well tomorrow. So very much looking forward to that. Wish I could be there tonight for the crowning and everything, but a few years ago we started an obligation with Western local schools to, you've seen our highlight films for football and things like that and basketball. Well, we're doing that for their graduation and have been doing that the last several years. And last year I was able to be there for the crowning because they did the crowning on Saturday as opposed to Friday. So just a scheduling conflict there is the reason we won't be there. But that doesn't mean we won't have the information on our Facebook page because Christy Simmons, who will be emceeing tonight, said she'll make sure I get the information. So,
and even though it's a holiday, keep watching littermedia.com, Litter Twitter. You'll be getting track and softball results tonight, tomorrow, and there are 3 or 4 news stories that'll be popping up today through the holiday weekend.
A salute to our military who we've lost. Again, Memorial Day is not Veterans Day. Veterans Day is what is taking care. And I can't tell you how many military will step up and say, this is when we honor those who are no longer with us. Memorial Day weekend. And so they're the real heroes. They'll reserve the other thing for Veterans Day is what they tell us.
Right.
So
we'll be celebrating those veterans on Monday ourselves. So I guess we'll be back on Tuesday.
Oh, that's right. That is a day off.
The boss did tell you that is a holiday.
Yeah. Well, I get that packet every year, and I forget to put it on my calendar.
I'm his secretary.
So,
I have to keep reminding. Don't come to work that day, Dan.
Yeah, this is what it was like before you joined the team. I was out there on my own just kind of weeding my way through the weeds.
You couldn't figure out, why isn't there anybody here today? I'm
here by myself. The only car in the parking lot. Used to be like that at the radio station, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's because I couldn't go home. All right, that's it for the program. Thank you so much for watching today, and have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend. We will see you on Tuesday with the next edition of Litter Media Live. Until then, so long and stay safe.